Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Josh back with another KeepItTechie video where I help you learn Linux, get into tech, and stay ahead of what's happening in the industry. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever imagined a whole government, thousands of employees, judges, teachers, just waking up and saying, we're done with Microsoft? Well, guess what? That's exactly what's happening right now in Europe. From dropping Windows completely to ditching Teams, Word, Outlook, Germany's Schleswig-Holstein state is going full open source, and they're not the only ones. So today, we're breaking it all down: why EU governments are walking away from Microsoft, what software they're using instead, what this means for you as a system admin, an engineer, or an IT student, and finally, could this actually be the year Linux makes it big? Go down, grab you a coffee, get comfortable, because this one's gonna open your eyes. But before you do that, go down and like the video. Let's get to it. All right, so let's start with what's actually happening. And I hope I'm not messing up this state's name, but in Schleswig-Holstein, which is Germany's northmost state, the government started phasing out Microsoft software back in 2023. And I remember this article, I think I covered it on a video a while back. But now in 2025, they're going all in. They've already transitioned 30,000 public employees away from Microsoft tools, another 30,000 teachers or next. And we're talking Windows to Linux, Microsoft Office to LibreOffice, Outlook to open-xchange, and Teams to a German-built open source platform called Elements. And it's not just a quick rip and replace. They've been planning this for years. The goal is digital sovereignty, meaning they want control over their data, their tools, and their future. They don't want to rely on foreign cloud services, and honestly, they're tired of paying millions in licensing fees when open source options exist. What's up, y'all? If you've been watching my channel for a minute, you already know I stay talking about Linux. And if you're looking for a solid, reliable enterprise Linux distro, let me put you on to Rocky Linux. This is the go-to replacement for CentOS, and it's built for the community, by the community. It's got everything you need for a stable and secure Linux experience, whether you're running servers, home labs, or enterprise workloads. And the best part, it's backed by CIQ, making sure it stays rock solid for the long haul. So if you're tired of these companies pulling the plug on your favorite distros, Rocky Linux is where you need to be. And I've covered Rocky Linux before, and trust me, it's worth checking out. So head over to rockylinux.org to learn more and get started. Keep it techie. Peace. Now, the digitization minister, and I don't want to mess up his name, but Dirk Schroeder, came out and said, we're done with Teams. The geopolitical developments of the past few months have strengthened interest in the path we've taken. And that right there is a mic drop. Now, let's zoom out for a little bit. What's really driving this shift? Now, for one, geopolitics. Europe has had a long, complicated relationship with US tech, but with recent political tensions like Trump being reelected, a lot of EU countries are asking what happens if the US pulls support or access. Now, also, there are some antitrust concerns. Microsoft has faced several EU investigations over market dominance, a big one being bundling Teams into Office 365, which crushed competition. Now, also financial pressure, licensing costs are out of control when it comes to it. These governments are paying millions every year to use tools they don't even fully control. And LibreOffice and Linux is way cheaper. Now, one of the biggest concerns is data privacy. US-based platforms often fall under the Cloud Act, which can allow the US government to demand access to data, even if it's stored in Europe. And in my opinion, that's a no-go for public institutions. So this isn't just about saving money. It's about control, security, and independence. So what's stepping in to replace the Microsoft ecosystem? Let me break down the major components for you guys. First off, the Office suite. So Microsoft Office is being replaced with LibreOffice. LibreOffice supports DocX, Excel documents, those new Excel documents, so XLSX, and also those PowerPoint formats, so the PPTX. And those are, used in school, hospitals, and our governments. And it's built by the Documents Foundation, and it's fully open source. Now, for email and calendars, Outlook is being replaced by open-xchange. Now it comes as a suite, it's full-featured email, calendar, and collaboration platform. It's going to be hosted in Europe and designed with privacy in mind, and it integrates with other open source backends, which is super dope. Now, Microsoft Teams, they're looking at replacing it with Element/Matrix. Now, Element is an open source chat application built on the Matrix protocol. And one cool thing about it is fully encrypted, it's federated, meaning no central control. And one cool thing about it, the German government actually helped fund the project. Now, when we talk about operating systems, Windows going away, but Linux will be the replacement. So I believe they're looking at distros like Debian, Ubuntu, or even Marina, which is privacy focused. And they're all being adopted across the government. And then some places go with enterprise distros like SUSE or Red Hat derivatives, i.e. Alma or Rocky Linux. And you'll start seeing these names more and more, even if you're in the US. So get familiar with them, which is my whole purpose for doing this video. Because if you're in IT, this is your chance to scale up in Linux and open source software before everyone else catches on. Because I believe it's going to make the change in the way tech is used all across the world. And I know it's starting small in Germany, but other countries are adopting this, like Denmark and a couple other EU countries as well. Now, hold up. This isn't all sunshine and terminal windows. There are definitely challenges to going full open source. For one, the German government, I know they've been working on this for a couple of years, but they have to retrain users. Imagine giving a judge who's been using Word for 20 years a copy of LibreOffice. It's going to take some patience for him to figure it all out and adapt to the actual program, because it's slightly different. It works pretty much the same, but it's slightly different. And then also you may run into some compatibility issues. Yeah, LibreOffice opens those docx files, but not always perfectly. You know, there'll be some formatting that may break. And also fragmentation. Microsoft gives you an all-in-one suite. Open source, you're basically piecing together email, calendar, chat, all these different softwares, you're putting them together onto the operating system. And this also caused some of those compatibility issues as well. Now, also, the biggest thing, the support model, because that's basically what Microsoft's bread and butter is. Open source software is free, but if something breaks, who do you call? So you'll need skilled IT teams or pay for enterprise support. And that's essentially what you're paying for with Microsoft when it comes to those licensing fees. You're paying for that enterprise support. Well, the support is, additional, but you're paying for that support, really, as well as the patches, security patches, and all that good stuff for your organization. But with open source, you're on your own at the end of the day. So you need to have some people that know what they're doing when it comes to the operating systems that are running on your network. So this shift isn't a silver bullet. It requires planning, training, and a total mindset change. But here's the thing. Most of these problems, they're solvable, especially with the right people in the room. All right, so my take. I've been hearing a year of the Linux desktop joke since forever. But honestly, 2025 is not the year Linux dominates desktops for everyone, but it is the year Linux becomes a serious force in the enterprise and government. Think about it. Whole countries are deploying Linux to tens of thousands of users. So privacy, budget, and sovereignty are all aligning with open source. And most importantly, the people making decisions finally get it. They're not choosing Linux because it's free. They're choosing Linux because it puts control back into their hands. And if you're in tech, this is your moment to get ahead. Make sure you learn Linux. That's why I created that free course on my channel. And also, if you want to support the channel, you can pay for it on Udemy if you want to. I always put out free coupons so you guys can get into the training for free. I try to do a couple a month. So check that out if you want to, but make sure you learn how to deploy Nextcloud, LibreOffice, open-xchange, and also start practicing with Debian or Ubuntu server or Rocky Linux or Alma in your home lab, because this wave is building. And I promise you, it's gonna hit harder than people expect. So what can you do with all of this information? Here's a few ideas. Start playing with Linux. If you're not using it already, spin up a VM or dual boot. Make sure you try out LibreOffice. It's not as scary as it looks. I mean, you can even install it on your Windows system. Also explore open-xchange or even self-host tools like Nextcloud and Element. Like, one thing I would recommend, if you have like a Synology NAS, you can install it via the App Center and get Nextcloud set up very simply that way. And finally, talk about this stuff. Share the video, join forums. I have a Discord group if you guys want to talk about this stuff in the Discord group. And also, quick question for you guys. Have you seen Linux or open source tools being adopted at your school or job? I love to hear your stories. Go on, drop them down in the comments. But anyway, that's it for today. If you're still watching, thank you. This wasn't just another tech news video. This is about real change in the world of tech, and Linux is at the heart of it. We've got government standing up, people waking up, and open source finally getting the spotlight it deserves. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor, go down and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out for my upcoming tutorials where I walk through some more different software in your home lab setup. Until next time, stay curious, stay free, and as always, keep it techie. Yo, what's up, y'all? Listen, if you've been sitting there thinking about making a move, let me tell you, tech is where it's at. I don't care where you're coming from, whether you've got a degree, a GED, or just pure hustle. There's room for you in this game. You see, tech is more than just keyboards and code. It's solving problems, creating opportunities, and building the future. You already have what it takes because tech doesn't care where you start. It cares where you're willing to go. You can teach yourself Linux, learn Python, break into cybersecurity, or even launch your own app. And the resources are out here for free. And yes, you heard me, free. Now, yeah, it's gonna take effort. You'll have to grind, but think about this. The time is gonna pass anyway. So why not invest it in a skill that'll change your life? I mean, tech doesn't just pay the bills, it opens doors to freedom, stability, and generational wealth. So stop doubting yourself, start small, stay consistent, and keep building. Because this isn't just a career, it's a movement. And guess what? You belong here. So let's get it, because the future is yours to build. Keep it techie.